So before I do anything else at all, I would like you all to write a word on your piece of paper. Not yet. I'll tell you what kind of word. It can't be a swear word. Joe's going to struggle with this one now. It is going to be a word because we're leaning in to today's topic, which I'm going to explain fully in a moment, but we are now in the direction of the West for this session. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to explain that to you in a minute. But this is all about release and things that we are ready to throw into the bucket. I have my bleep sound ready for my professional version. So by the end of this session, we're going to do a bit of purging onto the fire. Some of you will be very familiar with this and have done it with me before in different spaces and places. But I would like you just to think for a second about one thing, if you could, what one thing would you like to get rid of by the time you leave here tonight? One word. Keep it simple, keep it easy. It could be procrastination if you can spell it. If you can't, have a go and see what and see what you actually banish. It could be something completely different. It could be sadness, it could be anger, it could be worry, it could be anxiety, it could be. Please don't name your children. We can't do that. I'm not going to name my children. Yeah, all of everybody I know in the fire. Just a word, one word, something that's maybe been bothering you a little bit lately, or something that you already know is a big feature in your life. You think, God, Jane has a magic wand and she could get rid of this for me. This would be it.
Yeah, I put it on that. No, I haven't.
The ex-husband.
That's too many words. You told me I could.
One word. Yeah, one word. Yeah, one thing. Try and keep it to one word if you can, but one thing. Yeah. I heard that. Get in the fire, Lucy. And you're just going to keep it on you for now. Keep it on you for now, because we're going to do that together at the end. We're going to lash it on the fire. So I need my wing women to make sure the fire doesn't go out, otherwise we're a bit stuck, aren't we? But if you end up leaving early, please, 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 please do not take your shit with you. We need to purge it in the fire, so it's a good chance tonight to get rid of something. So if you end up dashing or leaving, please remember to release that word, that thing, onto the fire before you go. And we'll let it go. We'll let the ancestors have it. So yeah, that's just something for you to start the session with, that we're also going to end the session with. I'm going to do mine in a minute.
Also, just for everyone, if you're fold it away from you.
Yes, good advice, Joe.
Right. So you're sending it away.
Oh, yeah. You fold it towards you, bringing it back in.
Yep, good advice. Who brought the witch to the party? I'm trying to pretend that I'm not actually a witch and I'm just very corporate, but I think you all know me here anyway, so it's fine. Sometimes when I have a different group and I've got, like, we had Rob, who's a scientist, we have loads of people from different spaces. Somebody's from the public service board, somebody's from a school, somebody's a teacher. I'm like, I'm going to moderate my language slightly. I'll get a little bit woo-woo, but not mega, but we're all cool here. I can get as woo-woo as I want to. Yeah, so it's a really good one. Yeah, fold it away, release, vanish, let go, go away. So you've all got a nice word now. So I'm going to do a little bit of an explanation really quick, because I've done some bigger ones in the sessions we've already had, and a bit of a recap on what we've done so far, why I'm even here. But before I go into my little monologue, which some of you will be bored of hearing, some of you have never heard it before, so you guys have to suffer through a little bit. Just going to do something that I was meaning to do last time, but it didn't feel like the right thing to do, but I think it's just really super helpful. Hey, my love, get yourself comfy. We'll get you a brew. And I'm just going to have a little bit of a breath. Just a little arrival. Especially if you've got a really fizzy head, or you've been really busy today, or maybe you're feeling dead tight and you're wearing your shoulders as earrings. So we're just going to start as we mean to go on and just kind of come into the space a little bit. And I've been doing this with my ladies on a Tuesday night. And my ladies on a Tuesday night are there for business reasons. We're teaching enterprise and business. And I've been doing it more with them than I have with this group. So I thought, well, I need to make up for that and make sure I'm doing all the things on my list. So I've got a good hack and a good tip that is part of the tools that I have within Mojo School. And it's a really, really, really simple, easy breathing technique. It's not one of these, everybody sit in the lotus position for half an hour and do specific counting. So it's really good if you've got a neurospicy brain, if you don't feel comfortable doing traditional quiet breathing things, because it's super quick, but it helps to reset your nervous system really quite well. So I'm gonna talk you through it, and I'm just gonna do one just to see how you feel. So the point of using breath is to use a nice big belly breath, because most of us are kind of breathing here all the time, like what have I got to be, what have I got to do, everything's really stressful, and you're not making the most out of this brilliant free resource. And because generally speaking, as women, we're usually trying to make our stomachs look a little bit smaller and breathing them in, we don't really make the most of that space. So what we're going to do is going to take one massive huge deep breath in into your nose if you can, and what I want you to think about is focusing on actually pushing your belly out, so the entire space of your lungs. Push the baby right, not don't push it out here. I've already witnessed one birth this month. No, don't push. You breathe a little bit. Well, it's a good breathing technique. Gracie was doing this right the way through her labour, so you're welcome. Yeah. So making the most of all of that capacity. So when you're breathing in, you're going to breathe up to the very top and really imagine your lungs just expanding, so that actually if your hands were on your belly, they'd actually push out. Yeah, so we're going to do a massive big one like that, and we're going to add in something called a somatic tool, and it's all going to become apparent when I start talking about Mojo School. And somatic basically means the body, from the body. And I use this a lot with people if they're having panic attacks, or if we're really in an acute situation where someone's struggling to calm down. It's quite a simple, easy way just to ground really fast. So you'll take your big breath in, and when you take your big breath in, expanding everything, you lift your feet and your hands up like that, and you say to yourself, I am, and when you breathe out, here. And the act of putting your hands and your feet down, so if you've got a table, you'd use a table. If you've got your knees, just supercharges that breath and helps you to ground really well. So I've started to do that with my ladies every time they arrive now. And it's just one breath. It's not like a 5-minute meditation, which sometimes we love, but it's just, I am here. So I'm going to do a massive deep breath in. I am here. And just notice your shoulders on that out breath. Stop wearing them as earrings. Let everything kind of settle down. Have a wiggle in your seat. Just arrive in this beautiful space. Just notice how your bum feels in the chair and all the points of contact, because being present and getting out of your head and into your body is a really, really important tool, and it's free. So, simple breath. I am here. It's a really simple somatic tool. And we are here. We are all here. And it is our third Mojo School sesh this year out of 4. So we've got one more to go this year. And then we've got a nice even set of gatherings next year that I'll give you the dates for when we meet again. But just to recap for ladies who haven't seen me before and are wondering, why have I been dragged here? But yeah, these sessions are brought to you by Mojo School. Feels a bit like Sesame Street. It's brought to you by the letter Z. Mojo School is my business. It's my online platform. It's all about learning. It's a toolkit. There's lots and lots of things that it does. Some of you are very familiar with it. Some of you are newbies and just starting out on the journey. And obviously you guys haven't got a clue, so you've never come across it before. And what I wanted to do with these physical sessions is have something once every quarter that we could just gather together around the fire and do something really cool together. So for those of you who are paying subscribers, a fair few of you here, these will always be free. So this is part of your membership. Part of your subscription is 4 times a year. You can come and chill, have some food, chill out in the hammocks, and I'll bring to you a little bit of wisdom based around what we do within Mojo School. So it's part of that. If you are not a Mojo School member, you will always be welcome. And there'll always be a link. Well done there. There'll always be a link for you to pay. It's 15 quid, and you can just come and drop in and drop out and make the most of the sessions without having to do anything else. I'll always suggest that regardless, if you haven't, download the Mojo School app anyway, because there's loads of free stuff on there, so you can start exploring now. I saw your email pop up before. So everyone needs to be mojoed. So I'd say download it anyway, because there's loads of free content on there, and that's going to help regardless, and it will give you a bit more context if you do come to these things, because you'll know some of the things that we're talking about. So if you get a chance, get on App Store, get it downloaded. When you get on there, and this is for anyone who's still relatively early on in the journey as well, you will find what's called Freshers Week on your dashboard. It's Freshers Week. We did a lot live at the beginning of September, and it's basically just an introduction. There's a little tour on there to show you how to use the app, to show you how to use it on a desktop, show you all the features, and there's some cool little challenges, little bits of content useful for if you're stressed at work, if you're a parent, maybe of a young child, if you are a teenager or young adult or supporting that age group. There's lots of different bits of content in Freshers Week just to give you a flavour of what Mojo School is. And then there is a 4-part wellness kickstart that I highly, highly recommend everyone go to have a look at. It's free. You'll see the lovely Angela on there and the lovely Lucy on there. And it's just a kind of, and you're not on the 4. You ain't on that, my girl.
I'm on there somewhere.
She is in there somewhere. I don't think you've come. You might have gotten as far as Joe on your medicine wheel. Yeah, so you are about to hit. Brace yourself. This is why Joe's in the last quarter. Fire. We have to prepare you. We prepare you. So the 4-part wellness kickstart. Yeah, it's so still wandering around the map. So
and I'm taking me little bits.
Yeah.
And I've got I'm not making the time, and I need to make
Yeah,
time.
you will though. You will get there, and there's never any pressure to do that.
That's it.
Listen,
That's
it's
what I love
your
about it.
journey in your own time. But if the 4-part wellness kickstart is free for everybody, so feel free to help me with my business and share away and tell people, because they can get all this free content regardless of whether they decide to subscribe or not. And it just there's lots of cool tools in that 4-parter that take you around all of the directions of the medicine wheel, which is the framework that I use. Then if you do decide you're going to subscribe, like some of you beauties have, then the whole dashboard opens up and you've got access to so much stuff. And you can, as I know some of you have been doing, you can dip in and out whatever you want, whenever you want. You can just, whatever takes your fancy. But I've set it up so that it's a really solid kind of coaching program without the big price tag. So what I want for you ladies who are members, and because I want to make sure you're getting the most out of your membership, right? So while we're here at these sessions, I'll always do a little quick roundup and support and help keep on track and get on track. So there'll always be little bits that aren't relevant to anyone who's just come for a chill. You can just tune out at that point. So if you are a subscribed member, what I'd love for you to do this month, because it's October, is I want you to find the medicine wheel pathway. It's on your dashboard. It's open to you now. And I want you to have a look at module 1. At some point in October, that's your homework. You will. It's literally the next thing on your dashboard. So module 1. And what you'll find is there's a workshop with me to camera. No swearing, obviously. It's all like very professional. I know, yeah. Disappointing. I might just do a reel of swears just to see, and I can inbox the relevant people. Like, here's the real version. It's fine. But if you head to module 1, that is the big, juicy, meaty, valuable bit on there. It's all valuable, but it will help you with everything else. So that's what I just want to set as a kind of, I hate school anyway, but homework, just because we started October. So by the time I see you back here again, what I'd love you to do is explore that. So just head to the Medicine Wheel Pathway Hub. It's literally on your dashboard. Tell me if you struggle. And have a look at module 1, because it's where I start your journey. And there's a nice little workshop to camera where we'll start exploring some concepts. And then by the end of it, there's a PDF that sends you to the next bit, and it should start to click into place after that really well. You don't have to follow it in the order I've set it out, but I found that most people, as you've already said, life gets in the way, doesn't it? And if you haven't got some kind of accountability or some kind of plan or structure, you might start off with the best will in the world, and then 6 months later you're like, oh, I haven't even used that, and I don't want that for you. Obviously I'm running a business and I want to try and get subscribers and make money, but the point is it's valuable, and I want people to make the most of that journey and actually stick with it. And that's why I've set it out in a way that it's easy to manage, and if you get into the habit and set yourself some time, because you deserve the time, you'll kind of get into a bit of flow with it. I think, Angie, you're kind of the best person. Like, you've been doing that for the last year. You do get into a bit of flow, and then you have times where you dip out and you've got things going on, but then you'll know how valuable it is and you'll go back to it. So that's it. Module 1, that's all you need to do. Now, everybody else, if you're not on the app, get the app and just have a little bit of an explore. Date for the diary for you, so in case anybody has to dip off before we finish. The 11th of December, which is a Thursday, is the final one of the year. I'm going to do some really super cool stuff then. So Thursday, the 11th of December, I will put it on socials, and I'll put it in our little community space. We've got our little community space as well on the app, so I'll make sure you've got those dates. And that's about it. That's about it for recapping over the app, I think. So, the whole of my piece of work is based around this concept called the medicine wheel, which you will find in every single Indigenous tribe all over the world follow a version of this. And it transcends language, it transcends religion, politics. It really is a blueprint for what makes us human. And the theory is that the whole person, which is why the word holistic always appears in my vocabulary, the holistic package, that the whole person is really, really important to make sure we meet our needs in balance. And most people don't. You might have a gym membership, but you disconnect from other things, or you might focus on your diet and eat well, and then miss out on other things. So having something that helps you focus on every single aspect to make you holistically well is the plan. And the theory is in this ancient framework that we are split into 4 quarters. The 4 quarters correspond with 4 directions on a compass, correspond with the seasons, correspond with different elements, and correspond with a part of yourself. So we started off in June. Did we do our first one? It was summer. I was a bit late this year because we only just launched. We started off in June with the direction of the East. The direction of the East is all about mental health. Yes, you agree. I know you do. Always. All about mental health. That first quarter where I always start thing is the direction of the East. It's the element of air, and it's all about fresh thinking, clear perspectives, new starts. And we start to use all of these different references and all of these different correspondences to build in this lovely toolkit that makes sense to you as an individual. So there's nothing that's like, everybody do this and you'll all complete life on expert level because I know everything. It's more about an exploration of what matters to you, and I'll just share loads of tools and loads of things that you can try. You build your own version of that. So when we do the workshop, I do a little bit of talk about brain science using my beautiful amygdala, talking about the brain and how our fear radar is constantly going a bit batshit at the moment. Not meant to be doing this all the time. The amygdala is meant to pulse away nice and chilled until in our evolutionary past we might have spotted a bear on the horizon, and the amygdala would go like this and go, ah, something's like a guard dog barking away to warn you that there's a danger. And then once the danger passes, it goes back to chill again. Modern times, this little tiny thing in our brain is doing this constantly, or it's stuck like this. Yeah, or it's like this, and especially because we don't learn this shit in school, do we? Which we should do. We're not aware of this. And for me, starting off in the East and working on the mental health stuff first, it's called the top-down approach. So I share loads of tools, lots of CBT type tools, lots of all the acronyms, CBT, DBT, NLP, all of the brain science stuff, to try and help people just understand what is going on in your noggin and why sometimes you think and feel and behave the way you do. So you learn all kinds of things about how the brain's wired up, how the subconscious mind works, and you start to weed out, don't you, some of these thoughts that actually you're in your self-talk. You're in a bully that's always criticizing yourself. We start to observe and look at some of those things. So, in your medicine wheel pathway, those of you that subscribe, and you've got 4 different courses exactly on that to start working through. All the brain science, all the videos are like little reels, these little neuroscience nuggets, thought reframing exercises. But in the live session, we just did a little bit of a starting point, an understanding of the brain and why our thoughts are sometimes sabotaging us. And of course, we only are aware of 5%. Our conscious mind is only 5% of our mind. 95% is under the surface subconscious. So if we're operating off a faulty programming system, obviously stuff's going to show up in our lives because our brains are kind of misfiring a little bit. So once you're aware of that, you can start to reprogram the system, so to speak. It's called neuroplasticity. But that's only part of the story, right? That's 1 quarter. That's the top-down approach. And this is my issue. I'm going to watch what I say on film, actually, otherwise I'm going to be editing loads of stuff out. My issue, it is an issue, my beef with a lot of the therapeutic interventions that we use. And these are conversations that I've had with lots of leaders in the field. It's not just me being pissy. We have loads of these conversations around why we have this huge big mental health crisis and why things aren't actually really working or getting better. And that's because when you just have a top-down approach, if you just have talking therapy, if you just have CBT and nothing else, you're never getting out of that loop, because there are so many other things that need to be factored in. It has to be a holistic picture. And there's loads of stuff coming out now. A friend of mine, Tanya, who she teaches counsellors and she teaches therapists. She does this brilliant conference every year. She's starting to bring out more and more information. And two of the neuroscience scientists that I work with to build Mojo School, all saying the same thing, that actually the old school methods, the lie on the couch and tell me your deepest, darkest secrets, which has always been revered as being, the gold standard when it comes to supporting people's mental health, actually in a lot of cases can be more damaging than it is helpful. But we're still doing those things because we don't know anything else. So in many cases, things like talking therapy is brilliant, really works really well. Not in all cases. So we need other approaches, because sometimes if you're just constantly going over your old traumas without anything shifting, you're just reliving it, aren't you? And you're not actually processing it, or you're not releasing anything. Janj, you're releasing so much tonight. You are being cleansed. Jesus. Do you want to do loops? So there has to be more to it than that picture. So we teach in the East, we teach the mental health stuff and loads of tools there, but that is just the beginning, my friends, because the last time we were here, we were moving into the North. So the next direction on my medicine wheel, the next part of self, is the North, and the North is all around physical. She's gone from the mental to the physical, and we're talking about physical health. We're talking about grounding, which I've just done a very simple grounding tool there for you. Connection to things like nature, which just sitting here is I didn't need to do anything last time, just sit here, because that's enough really. Being out in nature, massively powerful. Vanessa's really good at, she'll share the science behind how that helps and how that works. But we do lots of things around what's called somatics, which I've just shared a little bit before. And that simply means from the body, the soma. So if you think we've had the top-down approach, we now need the bottom-up approach. So you can think yourself round in circles and you can understand what's going on. But if your body is telling you you're in danger, when this goes off, it's really difficult to manage, right? You'll all know what I mean by that, because you're all human. If your body is in a really, really bad way because you're feeling super anxious, or something has come across your radar and been a trigger for you, sometimes you can't think your way out of that. So you need tools to be able to manage your body and the stuff that's coming up in your body, your racing heart, the sweaty palms, the feeling sick, the feeling dizzy. They're all bodily responses to stress. So the North is all around that, working out how to notice things. Where do some of these things live in your body? How do things show up for you when you experience? You might know a little bit more about your thoughts now. You might know about your triggers and what's going on. But when they do happen, where are they showing up? Where they show up in your body? And that direction of the North is also about what you're putting in your body, what your environment's like. It's about nutrition. It's about sleep hygiene. It's about things like movement, and it's about all kinds of different body-based therapies and body-based tools. There's loads of exploration stuff on your dashboard when you move into that quarter. Go through loads of different kinds of things that you could explore, because not everything works for everyone, right? That's the direction of the North. So this time round, we are moving into the direction of the West. And the West is where we actually start to let that shit go and purge and release and move things through. So if you think about moving from this is why I do it in this very specific way. The first quarter, top down. The second quarter, bottom up. You know what's going on now. You've got the knowledge. You're recognizing where it's showing up in your body, and you have some tools to manage those sensations so that you can hold that space and start to do a little bit of shadow work and start to work through some stuff. But what do you do with it? Where does it go? It can't. This is the problem that a lot of people have, is that even when you become super aware, and if you've done lots of shadow work and you've done lots of counselling or therapy, different things, you still might be stuck in that space for a long time. And there's people that have been in therapy for 20 odd years, which I think is bonkers, because that's business, isn't it? It's not therapy. You're not moving out of that space. So there has to be something where you actually will metabolize some of that stuck energy and emotion, which is the direction of the West. We're looking at emotional release, is simply energy in motion. So we have to find some ways to get that energy that's been stuck maybe for years and years and years. How do we move it through? How do we move it out so that you actually can start to notice a real big difference in your health, in your relationships, in how you show up, in how your work life, all those things can be really, really positively affected when you're building some tools to let shit go. One of those things is purging stuff in the fire. So we're doing that anyway. I need to get you to write a word down because we're going to put that shit in the fire. Just one. We've done one. You can do loads later, but we've all done one thing that we are happy to release today. So things like that. So in the West, I'll be sharing all kinds of different tips to be able to do that. And in the direction of the West, we're connecting in with the element of water. So you'll see on my little altar, there's lots of references behind Joe to water. There's different versions of moon water that I've made. There's a shell that I collected from the beach. Oh, thanks, Joe. Right there. It's such a beautiful assistant. Look at me. Just there. I know. Yeah, we missed that opportunity. Put my light on. Yes. So yeah, lots of different references. You can feel free to go and have a little look in a bit. There's all kinds of beautiful things on there that represent. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. It's the boobs. Yeah, sorry. It's always in the way. It's such an inconvenience. So it starts. So tonight, yeah, I'll keep that in. That'll just be on its own, just a little snippet. A little snippet. Yeah, little soundbite. Business will grow somehow. I'll put it with my feet pictures that I'm going to start putting on. I'm close. I'm tempted. Only boobs. So tonight we're going to be focusing on the element of water, the direction of the West. We're leaning into creativity, even if you think you're the least creative person there is. It's all about flow. It's all around direction of travel and how we can move through some of the sticky stuff that we're ready to let go of. So we've already got one tool. We're going to release something into the fire. Winner. Water is a really, really good thing to use. We were talking about this morning, Ange, on our backwards and forwards voice notes that we have. Get into the sea, having a shower, having a cry. Crying is like a shower for the soul. So anything to do with water is a beautiful way to do any kind of release work. Have a bath and then watch things go down the plug hole. What you put your focus on, your attention on, really does make a difference. So when you're already working with water because you are washing your hands or you are going to the toilet and flushing it or you're having a shower or a bath, just start to bring your attention, that 95% subconscious mind, you can start to bring things forward when you're working with any element, even in your daily life, like, oh, that's going down the drain. I'm going to send an intention with it. Off you go, water. Or drawing or painting watercolors or drawing a picture of water, anything you can, or put a bowl of water on. And there's lots of ways that you can lead into that, but that's the representation for this one. But also around creativity. So there's a couple of things we're going to do which are going to be creative. And if you think you're not creative, it doesn't matter because this is not an art exam and I don't care, and neither should you. It's about finding a way to process something that's bothering you and find a way to release it. And you can use all kinds of different materials to focus your intention on that and to just create something that you can then let go of. You can bury, you can burn, you can get rid of. And so many people get caught up in the fact that, well, I haven't done it the same as that person, or I need some instructions so you can tell me exactly what you want from me. It's more about actually just throwing some stuff around and seeing what happens without any judgment. And sometimes that's a challenge in itself, which is cool because it brings up some stuff that is not, that's ready to be processed. I've had people before that have said, I just can't do it. I can't write anything down. I can't draw anything. I don't want to go near any colour. I'm really triggered by this. It's childish. It's silly. I can't do it. That's brilliant because that's just shadow work coming up because there's something there that he's working on. So regardless, it's really cool to do. So while we've got a little tiny bit of light, and just so that you can, if you need a wee, have a wee, or you can get another brew, or you can just move around a little bit. Just going to give you 10 minutes just to get up, wander around, and see if you can find a little gift from nature to put on my altar behind Joe. Anything. It can be a twig.
No, don't you dare.
I'm not giving you
Dog poo. It can be dog poo if you want. Anything at all. Just have a little wander. Yeah, have a wander, take a breath, just have a look and just actually connect in with this beautiful environment. And yeah, have a walk and bring back a gift from nature, put it on the altar. So little gifts from nature. Just nice to be able to do something and put it together. Normally that would be something that I'd find in the direction of the north when we go out foraging and doing nice grounding, but I thought it would be nice, seeing as we've set up the altar, just to have a little bit of time in the space and just seeing actually what you can find at your fingertips to help bring us all together. do something nice and seasonal. So hopefully you've all found nice rabbit turds to put on my table to go with my
No,
just coconuts to go with my my pumpkins and my water. And it's nice to do something like this at home if you haven't already. I know some of you already do this and have these kind of practices, but if you don't, it's a nice focal point, and it's nice if you are, especially like Angela and I, we have loads of voice note conversations at the moment. If you are really burnt out and really stressed, especially if you're a parent, but not necessarily a parent, yeah, grandparent, just yeah. I so many women coming across my radar at the moment. It's definitely a space that I'm moving into because it's obviously what's needed at the moment. But I think having a space carved out that's just for you, particularly if you're in a house with lots of other people and you don't have any privacy or you have lost your identity, if you have your own space, then maybe just think about leaning into making it really kind of elements and nature based, so you've got all the elements to work with. Just have a little space that you carve out, and again, when you get a bit further around, those of you who are on it, there's like ideas and tips for you to be able to do that, making the time to do it, how to make a nice little space, even if you've only got a small little corner of the house to do it. Some tips of how to do that, because it helps you focus, and it helps you focus on you, on what you need. So even if you just have a little shelf or a little corner, and you can find little things like that, little treasures. So everything that you do tonight is going to be about representing you. No judgment, not thinking, well, what would somebody else want there? Or I better have everybody else's things here as well. It's for you. It doesn't matter what anybody else has to say or has to think about it. It's all right. It represents you. Represents you. So yeah, just try and carve out a little bit of space, and then when you go places, you can bring things back.
When you go places, you can take things with you.
You can take things with you, yeah. I'll bring shells back and leaves back and conkers and different things, feathers, and it really helps, and it becomes a really beautiful thing that's very yours and it's very personal. And when you are doing little bits of self-development work, you have somewhere to do that's really relevant to you, and it's all about energy. It's got your energy in it, and it's got your intentions in it, and you can move things around, and if you're ready to let go of things can be moved and other things can be brought in that represent meaningful things to you. You can have photographs, things that don't make any sense to anybody else but make a lot of sense to you. If you're into crystals, which I massively am, you can have different things, different crystals that represent different things, different colours that represent different things. So the West and water, it's all relevant because it's it connects in with the pagan wheel of the year. You go to Peru, where I did a lot of my initial kind of spiritual development work. They have a version of it, Celtic version of it. So it's all it doesn't really matter what belief system you have, if you have any, what political affiliation you have, what language you speak. Anything that you do, you can connect in with this framework. It makes sense to every single human being that life is a cycle. You are a whole person. We have different parts of ourselves, and if they're not met in balance, we get sick. It's really kind of common sense when you break it down. So meeting in balance is the most important thing, and understanding and having the learning and the knowledge and the tools, because me giving you this concept, I'm assuming it does make sense because it makes sense, right? But how do you do that when you haven't got any tools and you don't really have the kind of the wisdom and the knowledge? So my whole piece of work and my purpose is to kind of bring that together and try and have it in a translatable way that's easy to access. And we're all scrolling all the time, aren't we? So I thought I'll stick it in an app and then people can engage the way they want to engage, because that's what we do. But it's still nice to get our feet on the ground and get around the fire and do things the old ways. So big chunk of time now, we're going to just do something a wee bit creative, because this is how we start to purge and process stuff. And the West is all about water and flow and creativity. It's when we move into the emotional space. We've done the mental stuff, we've done the physical stuff, this is the emotional stuff. And people get quite worried about that because they think, I don't want to do emotional stuff. I spent my life trying to suppress my emotions and not deal with my emotions. Why are you making me do it? But that's probably why we're all sick, because we keep doing that. So we need to find ways that are healthy, that are not scary, that are accessible, and that a lot of people say the most difficult thing for them is when they're thinking even about the word emotion or their emotional state, is they don't really want to look in that direction, because if they start, they can't stop, or they believe if they start, they won't be able to stop. So people then distract themselves with a million other things, but this is where the deep transformation starts to happen.
I love it.
Love it. Loves it.
Love
Yeah.
it.
And this is where we transform. It's where we start to,
don't you?
yeah, good cry. Yeah, anything that can kind of tip you over the edge a little bit, you will come back. You know, it's not, you think the tap will start and I'll never stop. Yes, of course you will. It's just a bit of cleansing. But if, you know, if you don't want to sit bawling like a baby and crying, which I'd highly advise it because it's great, if you don't, there are really cool creative ways to have the same kind of effect. Anything creative will do it. Poetry, we've been talking about this. Poetry, written word, really, really powerful in releasing and letting go, especially if you then let this piece of poetry or writing go in water. Let it go into a stream, let it bury it in the earth, give it to fire, use the elements. It's all part of real brain science because your brain, your eyes witness you writing these things down. Then you witness yourself doing something with it to get rid of it. So at its most scientific level, it's neuroscience. And it, you know, it's provable that it actually does it does work to release some of that emotion, and you feel so much better afterwards. But that's the thing, we automatically move away from anything that's uncomfortable. And if the one bit of advice from tonight is that you take away, let it be this, is that we need to start moving into the uncomfortable a little bit. Have to sit with it and feel some feelings because it won't last. If you can just move into it rather than running away from it, sit with it with just curiosity and think, okay, I'm ready to feel some feelings. Oh, okay, what do I feel? I feel sad. How does sad feel? Not very nice. Where do I feel it? Oh, I feel it in my eyes, I want to cry, or I feel it in my gut. Just notice the characteristics of that emotion. And guess what? It pisses off. Eventually, it's like, oh, okay. And if you can write words to go with it, brilliant. If you can draw a picture or put some colour or do some finger painting or bake or do something creative with your hands at the same time, even better. So just moving into that space rather than away from it is the most powerful healing you can do. And it's part of what we call shadow work and inner child work. A lot of my work, not yet. You've got a whole medicine wheel to go through yet. But once you get past the end of that, the next step, so Ange isn't even there yet, is to start working on some deep shadow work. But you can't start with that. People want to shortcut it, and you can't. You need to go through this whole process of safely healing and moving through. But really deep inner child work is massively profound. And when I did my shamanic training, lots of the tools that worked for me specifically, although I do talking therapies and CBT and NLP, some of those things didn't really work on me. It was more the creative shamanic stuff that's much more for me. Look, advanced is the wrong word, but I would say advanced healing, deeper. I would never start with that. There's certain techniques that just release, just got rid of stuff. But going right back into childhood, into the really messy, dark, uncomfortable, icky stuff was powerful for me. But I had to be in the right space, and I had to have the tools to manage my body, you know, what was coming up for me, and I had to understand it before I could do that. Still, I would still title it inner child, you know, because it's a younger version of you anyway.
Yeah.
It just depends on the context. You think of a little child. I'd still say teens onwards, and teens. I'd still, for me, in my head, I would still think of that as my inner child work because it's a younger version of me. You might probably term it differently, but it's that. But when you start to do these bits of work, and obviously what we're doing tonight is none of that stuff at all. And what the whole medicine wheel pathway is none of that. It's dead gentle, just exploration. But when you get to the point where you're ready to do some real deep stuff, that's the kind of thing that you'll start to look at, winding it back. The big piece of work that I'm doing and that you've been doing with me at the moment, the whole medicine wheel framework, is around just exploring, why does that trigger me off? And like you're a good example is to be like, actually, fear of judgment. I know that because I used to, when I was a kid, I was scared of being judged. And you might start to have these little breakthrough moments and you'll know that, but there's nothing deeper than that. When you're ready to do proper inner child work, you can drill it right back to the moment that programmed in as a belief. And you can start to really let things go. But
self-awareness
yes,
that I have now.
What does that mean to
Whereas
you?
before,
That's
good.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. And that's the whole point. Like me and Jane have this ping pong tennis all the time. And I feel totally ready now because I've shelved, like you said, Ellie, you were ready to do the lesson.
Yeah.
And you don't ever want to force something. You've got to be
just ready to
do
it.
it.
Can I ask a silly
Yeah.
question? Can you write a letter?
Can you what, sorry?
He writes a letter to somebody that's already
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. Absolutely. It's the best. It's even better. Even better. That sounds terrible, but when you have a belief that that is gone and you lock it in because they've gone now and you can't do anything about it, it's brilliant therapy. Absolutely. I've done that before with people that have gone, and it removes things from your body that you don't need, and you certainly don't need it because the person's gone anywhere. You know, you don't need to hang on to it. Definitely can.
You are ready. I am now, definitely. I think we're ready at any point. This is just my personal. But like Jane said, you think, oh no, I don't want to go there. But
well, you do a bit.
You get through it.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
It's
there's a reason
boss
why
on
And
the
you
it's-
go
inside.
there
and
when
it's
you
and
say
it's
that.
layers, you know, it's layers.
Yeah.
You'll have layers and layers of built up stuff from way back when. So you'll do a piece of work and you'll be like, oh my god, I feel great, and then something else will come up, and that's fine, it's cool. But as long as you have the tools, you can then work through the layers as and when they come up.
Because this is
But
the
it's
thing about
noticing.
shadow work, it's never over.
No.
Anyone that says they're healed is
No.
chatting
Bollocks.
pure, yeah. Because
Yeah.
they are them.
Yeah.
They are, but it'll
Keep
be a
that in,
different
bollocks.
trigger.
Your shit.
It'll be a different trigger.
Yeah, different
You
things.
know what I mean? Different things.
But the more practice you get at these kind of techniques, and because you can spot them quicker, you can identify things quicker, you can remove them quicker, and to be honest, you just want to be vibing high and living your best life. So that doesn't mean that this constant state of euphoria, that doesn't exist. That's a big myth. It's just being more in flow and more nimble with your responses, and being able to understand that actually sometimes things are amazing, sometimes they're shit, sometimes they're in the middle, and totally learning to surf and sitting with something if it's not good, and metabolizing the emotion as it comes up is the best thing you can do. If you need to cry, if you need to shake, if you need to, whatever you need to do at the time while you're going through something really, really big, then it probably won't get locked in. You might have that particular time might be difficult, but you probably won't relive it or keep it stuck. If you put a lid on it and you shelve it because it's too tough, then it will still wait for you. It will wait to be metabolized, and you'll have to go back and do it. So the better you get at these skills, the more that you can enjoy the good stuff. Let's say parents are a good example. Parents or your own children, it's much harder, I believe, because it's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's say you have somebody, and this word's bandied around quite a lot, but let's say the real clinical version of narcissistic personality disorder. Not just, I don't like you today, so you're a narcissist. Actual narcissism, yeah, that shows up and manifests. That's really difficult because you don't want to cut ties with somebody who is a parent or your own child or something. And it's such a but you can work on you. You can write these letters every time something comes up. You can write, and you can show up in a different way then. But speaking your truth is the important bit. It doesn't matter who you speak your truth to. That's why
I did it with Terry.
Yeah.
Purge and let it go, isn't
100%.
it?
Yeah,
I'm
100%.
burning it on. I remember when I went to that beach and I couldn't stop writing and burning like
Yeah. It's just like the fire was going. And another thing. You feel brilliant.
Because I knew I was never going to get the apology that
Yeah.
I felt I deserved. He would never.
Oh, he's a
do that.
delight. You're never getting anywhere with that
Yeah,
one.
exactly. And I thought, why am I
But you need to
wasting
let it go.
my energy waiting for an apology that I'm never going to get? It's never going to be as heartfelt as it needs to be in order to give me some
No,
peace.
exactly. Yeah.
So
No, it won't. Well, you give yourself closure.
There was no way that I was ever going to hear from him in a way that was meaningful.
Yeah. It's not going to come from him, but you can do it. The thing is, it's like if you have this sort of anger and bitterness and resentment inside you, rightly so, because things have been done to you and you've been wronged. It's like drinking poison and expecting somebody else to die. It hurts you, and you deserve better than that. So you have to find a way.
The only time I ever get triggered is when the child maintenance get in touch with me and say, "He's not paying again this month."
Yeah, and that is a big trigger. But it's working on you and how you can manage that and how you can not let it hurt you so much, because he's not going to do that for you. So it's that's exactly my point. It's finding a way that works for you. It is taking the power. Yeah. And I've made a good point. Can you do it for somebody who's gone? Absolutely. If someone's passed away, you can write letters. Oh my goodness, yeah, I've done that loads of times, because that is your only method. And if you don't, you will keep it because you'll think, well, that's it now. I can never get rid of it. If he's had his way to do it as well, and sometimes people just they can never ever get answers, and it actually eats them alive. Sometimes people go, oh, I didn't get answers, I'm going to move on with my life now. And both of those things are absolutely fine. And I think the point is, I'm going to give you something a little bit creative to do now, just for the rest of the time. But I think it's a beautiful point to make, that you can write a letter, you can write a really, really emotional, heartfelt letter around a really important event that you've never ever processed in your life, and you can cry while you're doing it, and you can throw it in the fire, or you can just draw a picture of an emotion like sadness without even thinking about what it means or where it's come from. And both of those things are really good processing and really good emotional release. So people get worried because they think, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to, like, especially in like circle time, let's all talk about, and it's beautiful when you can share like this, and if you feel like you can, but there's never any pressure, especially in my spaces, to do that sharing. Massively powerful. It's therapy in itself, but it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be, this is the way to do it. You have to dig back, and you have to bring all that back, and you might know full well what it is, and you might think, I want rid of it so badly, but I just don't want to have to do that. I don't want to write a letter to somebody. I don't want to do any inner child work, but I want to stop feeling this pain or this anger or this sadness or this frustration or whatever the feeling is that you don't want anymore. You can still get rid of the feeling without doing that particularly deep work. So you can use colour, you can use water, you can say, right, I'm ready to get rid of frustration. You don't have to go into detail about what it is. You don't have to write a song about it.
Go back and study all of Paige's artwork now.
Well, yeah, it's just all of her stuff will be emotional processing in some way or other, and that's okay, because Paige reminds me of me. Actually, I don't think talking therapies for her is going to be great for her, but if she's anything like me, she won't need that because she has a vehicle.
I think the thing with Paige is she gets very angry,
Yeah,
volatile,
and she has her own,
60,
and she's young yet.
If she channels that into her drawing,
She's found her way. So you don't need to get her to do anything else, because she's found. A lot of people don't find that, but if you found it, whether it's music, some people write songs, play songs. Music is a vehicle, and that works for them. Writing, we were talking about this the other day. So one of the things that you're gonna have an opportunity to do now, it's pitch black, so I'm gonna bring things over here, is we're just gonna spend a bit of time doing something creative. And I was going round in circles because there's lots of different things that I can teach as a workshop. And I was thinking, well, let's do something and let's model something and get everyone to do it. But that's a workshop to teach you a skill. And that's not what this is about. This is about actually just leaning into something that is going on for you at the moment. It can be a happy thing. It doesn't have to be any deepest, darkest past traumas. Just leaning into this emotional space where you can construct something that represents you in this moment at this time, or something about you that you want to create. So
because I am unhinged.
that would be perfect if we had the tools for that. You could represent that. You could do that.
Laura,
So,
why are you laughing?
because she knows you so well. And you know what? If you just put something on the table and put a hinge, we'd all know exactly what that was. Oh, brilliant. So I've got some ideas. So we're going to have literally a good 45 minutes just chilling, eating, drinking, and getting creative. So on the table behind you, there are some little wood cookies. There are some stones there, and you can, if you would like to, have a go at creating a little mandala if you want to. These are mine that I've done. So if you are familiar with this, there is a book to help you. Yeah, I'm that. Love mandalas. Nice mindful activity. Yeah. Love them.
So casual.
It's much easier than you think. Beautiful. It's such a nice mindful activity. So you can use pens. You can have a play around. Use these for inspiration. You start off in the centre. Yeah, they are. It's a Sanskrit word, mandala, but it's a brilliant mindful activity just to focus on something and making a symmetrical shape. You start off in the centre. You can draw yourself some quarters to keep you on track, or you can split it very gently with pencil into pieces of pie so you can keep yourself symmetrical. And you just dots and lines, just keep them symmetrical, patterns and patterns. You can copy that, whatever you want. You don't have to do a mandala. You can, over on that table over there, there's Play-Doh. You can make shit out of Play-Doh. There is also gingerbread people cutouts. You can draw all kinds of things.
It's a bit baggy, that, Anne.
There are masks, and a good mask trick, which you can do if you want to. I've got some examples over here. I did it in lots of workshops. On the front of the mask, you can draw or write words that represent the things that people see about you. What do people know about you? What are all the things that represent you? And on the other side, what do you keep hidden? What do people not see about you? It's really good release technique. So there's the mask. Yeah, so yours will be the same. Joe's is like the same either side.
Same all angles.
Or this was going to be a task that we were going to do at the very end altogether, but you're also feral. I don't think that's going to work. So yeah. So while we're just having this time, you could also engage in a spot of poetry, which I would love you all to do. And I would like you to do. Nope.
Poetry doesn't have to
does not have to rhyme.
It doesn't have to
And if you need some help and support,
Laura is the poet.
Laura is the poet. But what I'd like you to do is it's not the time to rhyme. I feel like we've got some lyrics to spit like that. While we're drumming, we've got a whole band here. It's like band camp. An acrostic poem would be cool, using the word of the day, water, or west, or emotion. So you use the first letter if you need help with that. And acrostic poems. What? Oh, did you do that? Wow.
Water with
Is that on
it.
canvas?
But,
No,
piece of
it's
paper?
just on a piece of paper. So she drew out the outline and then you.
And you just, it's amazing, isn't it? I just love it.
I
It's one of my
don't- I
favourite
don't
mindful
think- I
activities.
don't-